you guys listened to last night?
No, no,
I missed last night.
no, we just read the book and talked about it last night.
Read night.
No, nonviolent communication.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is what the whole point of that is. We're reading the book, but we don't get to that book very often because, yeah, uh, these discussions are so important. The dialogues are so important. And so, Mickey, do you remember where we're at in the book?
We are in chapter 16 and we're just starting section 4.
We'll get there. 2, 3, 4. The illusion and the reality of love. Oh, this is good. All right. Happy St. Patrick's, by the way, to everyone.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, yep.
I,
Better get your
I
green on.
completely forgot.
Better get your green on. You'll be
I
getting told.
forgot, and there was a message board up in the gym. They said, "Don't forget to wear green on uh, St. Patrick's Day." And here I am in blue and gray and black. So
Well,
I, I failed in my
you
assignment.
failed. Yep. That's all right. We're all loving some mythical. Yeah, I guess I do.
Right. It's like, what is St. Patrick's Day about anyway? I know it's celebrating him driving the snakes out of Ireland or
Not
something.
really, nah.
Not
It's
really.
no, see it. Mine's telling me Paltalk is offline for maintenance.
I am not getting that. It might be because you're an admin,
Yeah,
but
but if you're seeing the Paltalk room,
I am seeing the Pal Talk room.
does anybody have a mic?
Nobody has a mic. It doesn't seem like.
Is anybody in there besides
Uh,
you?
Idellos. What is Idellos?
That's
And
Delia.
Dove. That's who?
Delia.
I don't
She's
know, Delia.
no, Delia has been with us forever and ever and ever. And she only comes in on YouTube on the Paltalk,
Uh-huh.
and she just keeps us on all the time. If
Okay, and
if
it
Delia's not
says
in,
Dove is in the room.
so odd. Yeah, it's just telling me it's offline from maintenance. Rafi, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, in regard to St. Patrick driving the snakes and the vermin out of Ireland, that was symbolic of him driving out the hate, the anger, the sin, the violence, the negativity, all of that stuff. They used those animals as symbolically for him cleansing Ireland of what we would now look at as ego-driven ideas or feelings or beliefs or actions. Thank you.
Well, that's interesting. I'd never heard that before. So, yeah, no. So that's kind of always been that he drove out the pagans and set up the Catholic Church.
That's what I was thinking.
But I don't know.
Who
Um,
knows?
all right. I guess we're not supposed to be going on Pal Talk, but I can get the um Zoom on in that room. Okay. On the radio, at least so they can hear us from the radio. Yeah, this is just acting crazy. My computer's acting crazy. AI is taking over. I'm being shadow banned by the AI here.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
What is a shadow band?
I don't know what it means. The people
Oh,
just
okay.
say shadow banned. It's something that if you're on a group or something and you stop getting their messages, or you stop hearing from them, even though you didn't do anything to make that happen. I think that's what they call shadow banned. You're banned, but you don't know it.
Oh,
You're the yeah. So that could be. I don't
you're
know.
banned, but you don't know it. That
You're
is
banned.
so 21st century, you
Oh my
know,
God.
that
Sharon, what?
there are things that go on these days, and people are thinking things or doing things, and you're not even aware of it. I have never known of any that kind of thing happening any other time since I've been alive.
Yeah.
That's just
Well,
nuts.
I kind of know it from business. I used to be, work with big corporations and, blah, 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 blah. And what I noticed, because I worked always in the areas that had to do with human resources because I was in health and safety and environmental. And so they always lumped that all in with human resources. And what would happen is you could just see it that once management got this idea that you were doing something or had done something or were likely to do something, or they got some idea, maybe there was a rumor about you or whatever. Once management got this idea about an employee, then what would happen is that they would basically shadow ban the person. They would stop, like, um even smiling at the person in the hall. They would stop doing things that would make the person feel like they were a part of the system or whatever. And uh, and people would get this feeling of being not a part of the family anymore. And a lot of times you could actually get people to quit by uh, by treating them that way, basically ignoring them. Like, did you ever see that movie? What is it called? The Office? What was it called? Anyways, there was this guy in this office that the management didn't like, and they kept moving him into a different office. They would move him into a closet. They moved him into a closet, and they would take his stapler, and he'd be saying, "Where's my stapler? Who stole my stapler?" He was always looking for a stupid stapler, and they eventually moved him down into the basement of the building. Just basically trying to get him to leave. That's a human behavior that we do. You see it with animals, with if you ever watch any animal documentary shows, a lot of times you'll see that, if there's something wrong with one of the animals, the other animals will like shun them or go away from them. You see it all the time. That's kind of basically, I'm sorry we brought this topic up because it really is bringing to me the idea of um, what are you doing? Come on, my stupid while I'm trying to still get this computer up and running. Um, but yeah, that is kind of a basic way humans manipulate each other. And it works because of, guess what? This need that we have to be accepted and feel like we're a part of, the works. And when that is not being met because we're being shunned, then we'll take action. You don't have to fire a person. All you have to do is just put them in a closet. And guess what? They're 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 gonna leave sooner or later if they can do it. Um, so anyway, all right. Well, good morning, everybody. Since I'm still trying, I finally got this thing up, and now I'm gonna open it up so people can listen on the radio. I have to open up the radio now. Mickey, would you like to pray us in? You're muted. Okay. Oh, maybe Mickey's not able to be. There's a little timer clocker up in her corner. All right. What else is in here? Anybody like to pray us in? Oh, am I even still here? Oh, it was a be right back. Oh, I see. That's what it's a be right back. That's what that is. Oh, now I know something new I didn't know before. That little timer clock is a be right back thing, I think. Anyway, I'll pray us in. Oh my gosh. What a day. What a day. All right. I am here only to be truly helpful. And I'm here to represent him who sent me. I don't have to worry about what to say or what to do because he who sent me will direct me. And I'm content to be wherever he wishes, knowing he goes there with me. I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal. Amen. All right. So we're just
Amen. Did I hear you talking? Say my name. I
Did I hear you
I
say my name?
stepped I stepped away for a minute and I put the be right back button up, but I guess
Yeah,
does
and you
it
know what it
not?
did? I didn't know this, but what it actually did was it put up a little hourglass next to your name.
Right.
And I was going,
Yeah.
what is that little hourglass? Maybe what was going on? And then I
That's
figured out it was the Be Right Back. So
okay.
it was the BRB. So
I did a BRB. Sorry.
we did a BRB. Well, now we all know. How do we know? If you see a little time clock or time, uh, what do you call it? Uh,
Hourglass.
hourglass come up next to a person's name, they are in the potty or getting a cup of coffee. Yeah, maybe getting a cup of coffee. I don't
Or
know.
something like that.
I presume too much. I know. That's okay. All right. Oh my gosh. What could be more fun than this? What could be more fun than this? Nothing. All right. Who would like to read paragraph 1 of The Illusion and the Reality of Love? Yes, Mickey.
All right. I saw that first sentence and I got really triggered this morning by something. And I'm like, oh, okay. That first sentence looks like it's talking to me. Be not afraid to look upon the special hate relationship, for freedom lies in looking at it. It would be impossible not to know the meaning of love except for this, for the special love relationship in which the meaning of love is hidden, is undertaken solely to offset the hate, but not to let it go. Your salvation will rise clearly before your open eyes as you look on this. You cannot limit hate. The special love relationship will not offset it, but will merely drive it underground and out of sight. Or actually bring it up because you can't have a special hate relationship without having had a special love relationship. It is essential to bring it into sight and make no attempt to hide it, for it is the attempt to balance hate with love that makes love meaningless to you. The extent of the split that lies in this you do not realize. And until you do, the split will remain unrecognized and therefore unhealed. Well, darn. You know, I said that comment in the middle of this because how do you have a special hate relationship unless you had an expectation of someone to begin with? And that is where the special love relationship comes in. Even if it's with a public figure who you don't even know, you had an expectation of that person that they should behave in a certain way. Even with someone on the news that did something and got arrested for it, you had an expectation of how that person should behave, which is all a special love relationship is. It's an expectation that that person is going to meet a need, even if it's just a societal one that we have. And it's all expectations. I had an expectation that because I treated someone a certain way, they should treat me that way. There should be reciprocity. And today's lesson mentioned reciprocity in it also. That I am under no laws but God's, and we have laws that we think certain things should fulfill our needs. I'm trying to find that word in here, but I'm not landing on it. But it's all this law of reciprocity. I have a special love expectation of you, and since I gave you, go in that little search there and put in the word reciprocity. I'm pretty sure that was, yeah, that magnifying glass. Oop, you're missing a C in there. CITY. And if you scroll all the way down and get beyond the text, there it is. Think further. You believe in the laws of friendship, of good relationships, and reciprocity. Perhaps you even think that there are laws which set forth what is God's and what is yours. We we think in friendships and relationships, especially, that there's going to be this reciprocity. Whenever you're not feeling well, I bring you soup. Therefore, if I'm not feeling well, soup should show up at my door. And if it doesn't, oh my God, you don't love me the way I love you. All of these things that go on. That's a special love relationship and a special hate relationship built in right there. And we think that that's what. Anyway, if we could go back to where we were reading before, where are we? Chapter 16, section 4. Be not afraid to look on these things. Of course they're going to show up. Of course, if I put myself out for you, because I think we have a special love relationship, that you should then put yourself out for me. We have to look at these things. And I think that's what it's saying here, is all we can do is look at it. And we can't try and fix it. We can't deny the feelings that come up. We just look at it. It is this, and it says in sentence 7, it is essential to bring it into sight and to make no attempt to hide it, for it is the attempt to balance hate with love that makes love meaningless to you. If I push that down and hide it, and that resentment is boiling underneath the surface, and I've tried to balance hate with love, it makes love completely meaningless to me. Okay, that's pretty much all I got.
Thank you, Mickey. Yeah. Well, yeah. This whole idea of the idea that we can have one relationship that is special love and another relationship that's special hate, basically is saying that uh, it's not what God made. God did not make either of those things. God only made real love. And that's the only thing that actually really exists is the real love that God made. So all of this other stuff is just made up. It's a way of telling God, hey, you know what? You got your rules, but I have mine. And that's why the lesson today about I'm under no laws but God's is really saying, the law that I made up that says, uh, you know, people can be bad, my brother can be evil, whatever it is that I think my law says, that is not God's law and it doesn't actually exist. So, if I go live my life based on what my laws are, then, I'm going to be in conflict all the time. It's basically going to be nothing but suffering. So, just to understand that uh, it doesn't even exist. But if I don't bring it up and look at it, I'm going to think that it has a power over me. And it can't. It has no power over me. Until I do that, I will not see it and therefore cannot heal it. I love that. Anybody else have any thoughts about this paragraph? Well, at least I have. I got the radio up and we're broadcasting over the radio now. So that's something that I didn't have before. But still can't get Pal Talk to open. So let's see. Doo-doo. Yeah, it wants to it's telling me Pal Talk is open. So I just don't see where it's at, apparently. Okay. Anyway, does anybody else have anything, or are we ready to move on to paragraph 2? Well, let's check out paragraph 2 then. Who would like to read paragraph 2?
I will then.
Thank you.
The symbols of hate against the symbols of love play out a conflict that does not exist. For symbols stand for something else, and the symbol of love is without meaning if love is everything. You will go through this last undoing quite unharmed and will at last emerge as yourself. This is the last step in the readiness for God. Be not unwilling now, you are too near, and you will cross the bridge in perfect safety, translated quietly from war to peace. For the illusion of love will never satisfy, but its reality, which awaits you on the other side, will give you everything. And I just think that's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful paragraph. And even words are symbols twice removed. So the symbols of symbols, the symbols of hate against the symbols of love play out a conflict that does not exist, which is incredibly reassuring to me. That this truth in God, in peace, in understanding, in joy and love. And I feel like I want to Google reciprocity because it seems like it might potentially have a connection to God's law. But I know that being under God's love or in God's love or loving with God's love, all of that is really, really essential. But I also want to go up to the previous paragraph where it says the extent of the split that lies in you, you do not realize. And until you do, the split will remain unrecognized and therefore unhealed. And I think that a big part of my life was in that split. And the duality, the split is the good, the bad, the judgment, the all of that. And it seems so interesting to me that one time listening together and reading text, I just shared my mind is split because I was still experiencing so much suffering. And I haven't been for a while, but I got really triggered today. And it may have even started last night, but I can just see now like these mechanisms that are playing out in unforgiveness or in the belief system. Until you do, the split will remain unrecognized and therefore unhealed. But I have to look at it. And then it's like an allowance of it to be healed. For some reason, acceptance of it, welcoming it, has made it easier for all of it to be here. And the last sentence that I read, the illusion of love will never satisfy, but it's reality. And it's like, I've been trying to answer that for myself. What is reality? And it's always about love and it's always about God. And sometimes I bring in nature, but I don't, I just, there seems like maybe I'm cherry picking all the good aspects, but it's delightful and it's a kingdom and I'm happy to be alive in it, I think. Anyway, I will stop trying to share right now. The illusion and the reality of love. I hope I'm in the reality.
Thank you, Deb. Yeah. Yeah. And what is the reality? Well, what does the Course in Miracles say? What is real? And, the very first part of the course is, what is real can't be threatened, and what is unreal doesn't even exist. And, he goes through the whole course explaining to us that what is real is not the world we see, not the thoughts we think, not the sounds we hear. All of those things are really symbols of love, and symbols of a love that is so deep it can't be manifested in a world, or it would be diminished because because it's the vastness. It's like taking a little bitty pinch of it and saying, "Oh, I have the whole thing here in my hand." You can't do it. But where he says, for the symbols of hate against the symbols of love play out a conflict that does not exist. Why? Because hate doesn't exist. And love is the only thing that's real. So the symbols, all the symbols are symbols of love, even though they may appear to be symbols of hate, because the only thing that is real is the love. So for symbols stand for something else, and the symbol of love is without meaning if love is everything. The symbol of love is about meaning because everything is love. So I may say, oh, this heart symbolizes love, or this, this home symbolizes love, or this child symbolizes love, or this, whatever it is. But that's just a part of love, which cannot be broken up into parts. So it's always the whole. It's always the whole that we love, all of it, God. And that's why you can't look at the world and condemn it because it's God. This is the whole of God. Everything that I look at is a manifestation of God. And it's my interpretation that makes it good or bad. That's what Shakespeare said. Nothing good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Nothing is either love or hate. It's all love. And even what I might consider to be hate is actually love. Not in the way that the world would tell us, not in the way that our words would tell us. Well, love smiles at you when they walk down the hall, or love gives you a hug, or love doesn't yell at you, or, we know that's not true. Love will yell at you. Love love will be mean to you, that love will do a lot of things that, we might consider, a baby is going to be thinking I'm not loved when the parent takes the scissors away from them. They're going to cry like crazy, saying that's not love. You took that thing. Well, love is I don't let my baby play with scissors. It's a different definition of love, but it's all still love. It doesn't matter how you define it, what you call it, it's all still love. So to come to a place where I look now at everything and see it's a symbol of love, that's what I really loved about that recording that I was playing from Marshall before this, because he was really pointing that out, that everybody was trying to do the best thing they could. And he was very adamant. Everyone is doing the best they can. Everyone is doing what they think is love. And no matter what, I might not think it's love. I might think it's not love if you put me in prison. Um, it's still, yeah, there's nothing that's not love. And imagining that there is something that is not love is imagining that God is partial, helpless, small. But when I recognize that everything is love, and then I come to the place where I can just say, I can't tell God how to be. If God is being this war right now, to me that sounds terrible. But to people who think that it's a good thing, it's the best thing. And there's lots of people who think that it's the best thing. It's not the best thing or the worst thing. It's nothing. It's really nothing. It's love is all it is. It's love in the appearance of war. It's love in the appearance of a bomb. It's love in the appearance of a spanking, or taking away the scissors from your child. It's love in the appearance of things that we might not recognize as love, but that it can't be anything else. So, and who am I to tell God how to be? Who am I to tell God how to make a plan, what to do? I don't know. But I know that if it's something that isn't whole, isn't permanent, something that will change, something that will uh, die away and something new come up after it, I know that it's not real. The only thing that's real about it is the love. And we talked about that last night too. So just recognizing that the illusion of love is my story about the world and my life and my person who I am. But the reality of love is way beyond the story. the story has no significance at all compared to the reality of love. There's no comparison. So anybody else have anything to say about this? Okay. Well, maybe we'll loosen up the next paragraph. Paragraph 3. Would anybody like to read paragraph 3?
Yes, I will.
Thank you, Rafi.
The special love relationship in an attempt to limit the destructive effects of hate by finding a haven in the storm of guilt. It makes no attempt to rise above the storm into the sunlight. On the contrary, it emphasizes the guilt outside the haven by attempting to build barricades against it and keep within them. Wow. The special love relationship is not perceived as a value in itself, but as a place of safety from which hatred is split off and kept apart. The special love partner is acceptable only as long as he serves this purpose. Hatred can enter, and indeed is welcome in some aspects of the relationship, but it is still held together by the illusion of love. If the illusion goes, the relationship is broken or becomes unsatisfying on the grounds of disillusionment. Boy, just if you're not there to serve the other one, then you're still coming from a place of selfishness. And it's got to generate something negative. There's no way it can't. But if it's unconditional and well serving, then it doesn't matter what comes back. What comes back is still loved.
Thank you, Rafi. Yeah. I mean, this whole thing of this special love relationship, of course, we all talk about it a lot. Um, and what is it really? I love the way he says it. It's an attempt to limit the destructive effects of hate by finding a haven in the storm of guilt. It doesn't try to go above the storm into the sunlight. It stays down here in the place where the guilt is held and tries to build barricades against the guilt and keep the guilt within. So it's uh and we pick up special love partners who will agree with us on that and try to help us. They have their guilt as well, and we combine our guilt together, and in that we become brothers in arms, basically. Uh, so what would happen in a relationship if one or the other decided that they were not going to participate in that particular type of special love. It happens all the time. My special love for you is really great, but as soon as I feel like I'm not getting what I want out of you, I'm going to start looking elsewhere. Then, you know, I'll find it. I'll find it somewhere else. It's going to be there, whether it's another person or if it's alcohol or drugs or, whatever it is, bird watching, whatever it is that you pick up that is going to take the place of that relationship, and it will destroy the relationship, because when you no longer can agree on the thing that you hate together, uh, then it shifts everything. And there's so many great examples I could think of where that's absolutely, I mean, look at what's happening in the world right now. If you haven't watched the news recently, don't, because there's nothing but nonsense going on. But here it is, you look at the relationships between these countries, the United States and Israel, the Arab states, the relationships that they have. One day they're loving each other, the next day they're bombing each other. It's just like going on and on and on with that insanity. Let's see, I need to mute somebody here. Okay. All right. So yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. We are participating in special love and special hate relationships on a regular basis. And those are, you can't get away from them until you look at what is the reason, what is the purpose. So, once you recognize what the reason, the purpose of it is, then you can decide to keep it or let it go. And for the most part, you're going to let it go because you're going to realize, this is not really meeting the need that what I really need. What I really need is a loving relationship that's based on reality, not a codependent relationship that's based on our mutual hatred of this or that. Anybody have any thoughts about this? All right.
I have some
I
thoughts.
see you have your hand up, Mickey.
I
Yeah.
just I have not been watching the news. I heard vague murmurings of uh, the US getting involved in something in the Middle East, and I was like, no, no, thank you. I don't think I want to know what's going on. But you're right. All of our mo okay, let me gather my thoughts here for a second. Most of what we enter into with other people that doesn't have to do with romantic love are those alliances that you were talking about of mutual hatred toward something else. And what a twisted way ego has of bringing people together in mutual animosity toward a third party. That just goes to show you how incredibly intricate and and like the course says, the ego's game is foolproof in that bringing people together in either special romantic love or special hate toward another that brings us together, so incredibly intricate and so web like that no wonder we have such a hard time withdrawing ourselves from it, and how involved people get in this when we don't drop all the artifice and just get into what real love is. And I think that's what we're going to get into later on in this section, hopefully. But yeah, you really nailed it, Lynn, talking about that.
Thank you, Mickey. Yeah, I mean, you have to look at everything and all the I mean, this whole world is just a web of it. And, until we can, learn to break free from these thoughts, we're caught up in it. And so congratulations, you not watching the news, because yeah, it is pretty sad state of affairs.
I just
But
can't do it anymore.
it's no different.
I
I
can't
mean,
bear it.
when we were kids, we had Vietnam. We had a war that was going on in our own lives that our own, I don't know, I don't remember how old you are, but the boys in my high school were all looking for how the heck to get out of that because as soon as they graduated, they would be drafted and then being going over there. And my son's father was a Marine in Vietnam, and he saw some crap that you would not wish on anybody to see or to be involved in. And yet, that's the state that we came up in. So, being put in a position now where I'm even hearing the words draft coming up, my heart just goes, whoa, no, because I have grandchildren now. And, it's just, you know, pretty crazy to think about that. But it's the same cycle over and over and over and over because we have the same thinking over and over and over and over. And the only way that's going to shift is for you and me, all of us who are intent on connecting with our source in a real love way, not in this artificial way that we've been taught and bringing that consciousness into the world as much as we can of the truth and reality of what we are, because the only reason that we're even having these things called wars is because we're confused about who God is, we're confused about who we are, and that confusion can be cleared up by right-minded thinking. And I don't have to go and tell the president how to think. I just have to change my mind. I have to change my mind to that right-minded thinking. Um, because minds are joined, it will automatically affect the whole. So, I don't even have to go so far as to march in the street. All I have to do is be here and practice what I've been given, which is this wonderful Course in Miracles to help me to, come to a reality. And that is what changes the world. Um, so yeah, let's read paragraph 4. Who wants to read paragraph 4? Anybody?
I'll read it.
Thank you, Sharon.
I'm on my phone, so I might have to have you bring it up in a bit.
I'll
Anyway,
move it. Yeah,
love,
I'll move it.
love is not an illusion. It is a fact. Where disillusionment is possible, there was not love but hate. For hate is an illusion. And what can change was never love. It is sure that those who select certain ones as partners in any aspect of living and use them for any purpose which they would not share with others are trying to live with guilt rather than die of it. Wow, I want to read that again. That's incredible when you really take it in because it's so deep. Um, are trying to live with guilt rather than die of it. This is the choice they see. And love to them is not an escape from death. They seek it desperately, but not in the peace in which it would gladly come quietly to them. And when they find the fear of death is still upon them, the love relationship loses the illusion that it is what it is not. When the barricades against it are broken, fear rushes in and hatred triumphs. This is a very deep paragraph, very, very deep. And basically, it's how confused we are. We are just so confused because if you go by the ego thought system, you're going to be, it's just a matter of a nanosecond that you'll be in that duality. And you can't have in this world love without hate because it's duality. But you go into the real world, which is the higher consciousness, and you stay there where everything is illuminated. There's an illumination from the higher self. And we can see basically when we look at everything, everything is made of consciousness, even like the objects are made of consciousness. So it's all this same thing. So when it comes to everything is love or a call for love, it's because we are love. We're not bodies. We don't have a mind that hates. We are, but we are a different kind of love. We are unconditional love. And the love that we've been trained with is very much conditioned, very self-serving and selfish. And the love that we are is all joy, peace, and happiness. Now, what could be better than that? What could be better than that? So when the barricades against it are broken, so when we break any of this, like even like this morning, I thought was beautiful to listen to Marshall was just what I needed. You know, it's medication for I have a virus, so it was just helpful. Just the soothingness, the gentleness, and the compassion, and the certainty that he knows who he is and he wants to understand. He doesn't even have judgment in his tone. He has complete, I guess what you would say is just unconditional love. And yes, he is self-realized. And I did hear him talk about being, of course, miracles. I think a lot of very profound teachers have read the Course or studied it because it is one of the best texts out there, really. But it's kind of like it takes you so gently into this. You know, I've had a couple, like with as far as the TV's concerned. Years ago when I moved here, I got rid of the news. I just heard a voice in me say, get rid of the news. And I didn't watch it for years. But, you know, again, when the news became really in my ego's significant, I became very attached. Now I can't watch it. Now I'm tired of the whole thing because it's chaos. There's no beautiful equanimity and equality and admiration, just admiring everyone for the absolute miracle that they are. We are all a miracle. And the stuff on the TV, it just brings us into the lower consciousness. It doesn't give us any freedom at all. It is jail. So in this paragraph, I would have to sit with this and see every line, if you really look, every line goes deeper. You know, that's why that Ken Wapnick would often say, read it over and over because it goes deeper. It goes into the depths of our being. And it's just, it's kind of like, why, like I could see in my relationship with my husband, how specialness has gotten in the way. And we have a beautiful relationship because I bring myself back. But there are times that I see that specialness come in, like you said you would do that, you know, that kind of thing, the guilting and it's not gentle. You know, of course I come right back and say, oh, I'm sorry, because I want so much just to have the presence of gentleness, kindness, and just appreciation that I'm even here. I mean, to take for granted that we're walking around in a body is ridiculous. Why take that for granted when it is absolutely a miracle? You know, Nisranada Maharaj said, everything's a miracle or nothing is. That's all I have. But this was very good for me. Very therapeutic morning, Lynn. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Yeah. And this is such a great section here.
It really is. It's a gorgeous section because it's just showing you how you've been misled. We've been
Yes,
so misled. Like to believe
absolutely.
we're right and to like that, and then to connect with another being with our hatred. Like, who do we hate? I mean, I could see I was doing that. You know, I don't like him. You know, it's joining, but it's joining in hatred when it can be this beautiful gentleness. So this was just so gentle for me today. Thanks.
Thank you, Sharon. And yeah, thank you for, I mean, honestly, this is the way we learn. And like I said earlier, the more I become aware of my own thinking, the more I'm able to uh, forgive the world. And that's what we're looking for, is the forgiven world. So I love it. And thanks everyone for hanging out with us.